I'm at one of my current flip projects. It's a 3-bed semi-detached house here in Newcastle. It's getting a full refurb. Behind me is going to be the kitchen. Now, in this video, I want to talk about maximizing value. How do you maximize value in a property whilst minimizing spend and therefore making as much profit as possible in the shortest time frame possible? Because it's not just about the amount of money you make in flipping property, it's how quickly you can make it that matters, because it's how quickly you can get onto that next deal and move forwards. The more you can use the money invested over and over again, the more money you make ultimately. It's as simple as that. So it's about speed as well as just profit on paper. So with this project, behind me you can see is the kitchen. What I've done is I've changed the layout here to maximize the value. So what I've done is I've taken out this wall. There was a wall just round about where that yellow bag is. It was just round about there. Taken that wall out. Now I've got an open plan kitchen dining room. So rather than having this all enclosed, a small kitchen, it wasn't really that attractive. Now I've opened it out. So I've got a nice big space. Now this wall is just drying out still. You can see there's dehumidifier there to help with that plaster drying out, because that's all been damp proofed. Damp proofing can take a while to dry out. So if you're wondering, that's what's happening there. Now, I've also created a doorway here going into what was previously the garage, but now I've utilized some of the garage space to create what's going to be a downstairs, what's going to be a utility leading to a downstairs toilet. So I've added a downstairs toilet and utility and made the kitchen a lot more attractive. I've got a nice big open plan kitchen dining room. These doors are also new. It was just a window before. Now we've got lots of natural light coming in, and we can have that big open plan kitchen dining room experience, which is what a lot of buyers want. So I've managed to do that in a fairly low cost, fairly inexpensively in the grand scheme of things. If you're looking at a project and thinking, how can I improve the value? Or how can I improve the appeal of the property? Now, obviously you can do extensions. Extensions can massively improve because they're adding square footage to a property, so it will increase its value. But the problem with extensions, sometimes, depending on the end value, depending on the ceiling price of a property that you're working on, you might actually find they're not that cost effective, because by the time you've actually done the damn things, you might not actually be maximizing your profit. You can in some cases, so that's not always true, but in some areas, there's ceiling prices where you're going to go beyond when you start extending. And actually that can eradicate some of your profits in some cases. So what can be a good way of maximizing profit is improving layout changes like this, where you can open out walls, you can create doorways, you can utilize garage space, you can add utilities, bathrooms, fairly inexpensively without actually adding any square footage to the property. So downside of this one, yes, you lose a little bit of garage space, but the garage still have storage, or still has storage at the end of utilizing that space. And it creates a utility room and a downstairs toilet. So most people are going to prefer that than just having a big garage. There's parking off street anyway, so the garage isn't really needed. So again, all things considered, adding a lot of value without having to do an extension. That's a great way of maximizing appeal and therefore making more profit, selling a property more quickly. So this project, I'll be doing a lot of work to the property. So it's going to have new central heating system, new windows, full electrical rewire, damp proofing, replastering, new kitchen, new bathroom, flooring. A lot of the woodwork's getting updated, new doors, skirting boards, etc. So there's a fair amount of work happening in this project. What you don't want is you do all this refurb, spend all this money, and then people walk through the door and say, I don't like this because the kitchen's too small, and they don't buy it. And that is the risk when you're flipping property. So if I'd have left this property as it was in the same layout and didn't open it up and didn't go into the garage, I could have risked that. That could be a big risk. People could come in and say, well, it's nice, but the kitchen's too small. Now, you never know. This is the problem with flipping property. You never know for sure what people are going to say until you finish a project. But what I never want to be in a situation is I've spent all this money, got a beautiful property, but it's hard to sell, because the kitchen's too small, or the bathroom's too small, or the layout doesn't work, or the bedroom's too small, or whatever it might be. So my rule is, when I've done the refurb that I plan to do, is there any quirky, problematic issues that still remain that I can't do anything about? And if so, I walk away. I don't buy that property. I need to make sure that my layout is going to appeal to the maximum amount of buyers. There's going to be loads of people interested that are queuing up to buy this property in any market. Even if the market goes the wrong way, I've still got interest. I know I'm going to be able to exit that deal, get the cash in the bank on sale, move on to the next one. So that means making sure that you've taken the time to think about the layout, take the time necessary to think about that, walk around the property several times, think of ways you can improve that layout, preferably without having to do an extension that's going to appeal to more buyers, and still in a cost-effective way that can maximize your profit at the end of the day, which is why you're flipping properties in the first place. So take the time to do that, walk around the property several times, get multiple opinions from estate agents, contractors, get lots of different ideas of how you can improve the layout, and then make a decision once you've got that information together. But agents, good ones, can really help, especially, and contractors too, because they can really help you with layout changes that can maximize value and ultimately increase the appeal of your property, get it sold quickly, cash in the bank, and on to the next one. So hopefully you found this useful, and you'll see me in the next one.